All right, everyone, we are indeed 2 minutes late. My apologies. We have to talk about all sorts of news topics today. We've got a lot of shit going on, actually. The tariffs have wreaked havoc with the world economy. We're seeing the impact of that now, so that's definitely going to be one of the main topics of the day. We've got also some intrigue with Eric Adams and Laura Loomer, actually, separately, of course. And then we have Russell Brand actually getting Me Too'd. So yeah, we've got a little bit of news to cover today. Thank God it is Friday. After I'm done with this live stream, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to copy. I did not want to paste. Yeah. We've got all sorts of crazy shit going on. The news today is insane. And it's not a surprise. There's a weird... It's one of those days, and I'm very, very thankful for this, by the way. There are a handful of days out of the year, here in Vermont at least, where you get that weird weather pattern where it's warmer than normal, and there's a light breeze, and the clouds are soaring overhead, but on the ground it's just like a light breeze, but it's warm and sunny. We are getting one of those days right now, for which I am very thankful. I am extremely happy about this. You get maybe 3 or 4 of them a year. Those are the best days. The Electric Jester. Why can't the right-wing media shut the fuck up about COOF? It's 2025, and 99% of the world has moved on. It's a dead horse. But right-wing NPCs refuse to let it go. I have no answer for you. I do not know. But you are correct, yes. Holden Sneedmeyer. How long is Trump going to indulge the Ukraine parasite? All the minerals are in Russian territory, and he can't save them. He can. I think that's his goal, actually. Nico, heading up to Burlington this afternoon. Prayers for my life are appreciated. LMAO. Yeah, let's go get a lunch or something like that. I'm waiting as people pile in. So yeah, we're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. I mean, when I looked at the news cycle, I wake up early in the morning, make my daily videos. Then I was tired still, so I decided to try to go back to bed. I managed to get an extra hour of sleep, which is odd for me. Normally I can't do that. But I set my alarm for 10:30 so that I could be on time for my live stream, actually. And then I look at the news cycle, realizing that the other computer that craps out sometimes, and so I can't really rely upon it anymore. It needs to be repaired. I realized that I had everything docketed there. I didn't have it on the Victus. Whoops. And then the Victus briefly crapped out as well and wouldn't let me actually log in at all. So I was like, fuck. And by fuck, I mean shit. BW, hope you're doing better. With the current state of things, how do you see midterms coming out, especially if China or Europe do not cave on tariffs? They're going to try to hold out as long as possible, specifically for that political reason. They want to cripple the Trump presidency in any way that they can. Will they be able to hold out for that length of time? I don't know. I've got no prediction to offer you on that one, unfortunately. SC Woods, good clanking morning. I hope today's live stream is more energetic than yesterday's. Yes, yesterday I was absolutely exhausted. Today I actually got a decent amount of sleep, so it should be pretty fine. We've got King of Biltong in there. We've got Anton. That's what I'm talking about. So let's get to the news. New York City Mayor Eric Adams admits the deep state is real, credits Kash Patel's book for getting it right, then promptly leaves the goddamn Democratic Party and has gone rogue. He has not joined the Republicans, which is wise for him to do. He decided not to join the Republicans for two reasons. Number one, the Republicans are goddamn losers. Number two, he happens to be mayor of New York City. Probably not a great idea to join the Republican Party if you happen to be in such a deep blue district. So he has decided to abandon the Democrats, though, and he's running as a nonpartisan. Hashtag nonpartisan. That's what Mayor Eric Adams is doing. I have to respect him. I have to give him begrudging respect. He is still a liberal. He is still left-leaning. That being said, at the same time, he's also being respectful. He's being respectable. He's doing what he should do. He's trying to represent the people of New York City. They tend to be left-leaning too. Ideologically speaking, there's no problem with that. That's what they voted for. But he doesn't need to be a member of the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party tried to destroy him. Joe Biden, because of his criticism of immigration policy, effectively tried to destroy a mayor, despite the fact that the mayor's office has absolutely no control over immigration policy. That was the Biden administration. At the federal level, that's where immigration is handled. And so Eric Adams said, "Fuck you." And a bunch of liberals immediately dogpiled him, and I noted this, and called him like an Oreo, called him like a house Negro and stuff like that. And I'm looking at some of the things that they're saying. They're pretty racist. They're pretty vicious. I mean, it doesn't surprise me in the least, but, for what it's worth. Eric Adams is doing the right thing, fundamentally. He may not be a good person. He's still a liberal. He'll still be a leftoid. He'll still be of the same ideology, but he won't be of the same party. He's decided that, if the Democrats decide to abandon me, why don't I abandon them? That's basically what's happening right here. It is self-serving, but at the same time, it's also justified. Eric Adams is justified in his actions. If I'm part of a political party, and they completely throw me under the bus, and friggin' literally try to get me arrested and shit like that on federal charges, you think that I'm gonna prop them up? Eric Adams is doing what is right for himself. Self-serving? Yes. Justified? Also yes. One tall order. Sticks, are you aware of the U.S. military buildup in the Middle East and Indian Ocean? All signs seem to point to strikes in Iran. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I would be very, very upset. I will be the first person to call out Donald Trump if he decides to strike Iran. Just like one of the first things that happened, actually, in his first term, he optioned the idea of bringing back CIA black sites. And I called it out at the time. And I said, that's a terrible idea. You shouldn't be even talking about this. And I was right to do so. It doesn't mean that Donald Trump did a bad job overall. It means that he had an idea that was not good. And here's how you have to operate with Donald Trump. You have to call him out when he does something that you perceive of as wrong. He's doing A/B testing. So he's testing, gauging the public with regards to the proposals that he's making. Tariffs? Fine. Perfectly fine. Other countries have been tariffing us for 1,000 years, so who gives a shit? CIA black sites? Bad idea. Attacking Iran? Bad idea. Don't do it. Hands off. That's basically the sum and substance. Holden Sneedmeyer, Kirill Dmitriev, chief of Russia's Sovereign Wealth Fund, just met with Witkoff in Washington. There's a reason there's no tariffs on Russia. Interesting. Personally, on the Ukraine and Russia issue, I am fairly ambivalent. Not my hemisphere. Not my issue, not my problem. You can say, well, you have to defend these defenseless people. Yeah, there are plenty of defenseless people in Russia too. I don't care. It means nothing to me. Holden Sneedmeyer, passing further sanctions on Russia via Lindsey Graham's stupid idea will destroy the U.S. economy and drive inflation up. We need their fertilizer. We can make our own fertilizer. That's not a problem. I would say I don't understand why so many people have a hate boner for Russia, though. No Russian ever stabbed me in the back. No Russian ever fucked me over. No. Plenty of Americans have. Trump administration fires director of National Security Agency. Yes, indeed. The Trump administration has fired the director and deputy director of the National Security Agency, the NSA, of course, the United States' powerful cyber intelligence bureau, according to members of the Senate and House Intelligence Committees and two former officials familiar with the matter. The dismissal of General Timothy Hague, who also leads U.S. Cyber Command, the military's offensive and defensive cyber unit, is a major shakeup of the U.S. intelligence community, which is navigating significant changes in the first 2 months of the Trump administration. Wendy Noble, Hague's deputy at the NSA, was also removed, according to former officials and lawmakers. Now, this is a deep and intriguing story. On the surface, you removed the director of the NSA. Well, that's fairly major news, but it's like, you just fired somebody. But this is predicated on a visit from Laura Loomer, of all people. Some people have a problem with Laura Loomer. I myself do not. Spoken with her briefly before, at least, in the case of DMs. I don't understand why people have a problem with her. I believe that she genuinely gives a shit about the United States. That's why she was willing to be arrested by chaining herself to Twitter HQ back during the Agrawal days. I have respect for Laura Loomer, honestly. So if some government executives have been fired, oh, it sucks to be you. How terrible. Oh my God, you got fired from your job. Well, you're still getting your general's pension, so I don't think that you have a terrible problem. What is that, like $100,000 a year or some crazy shit? Yeah, I wish that I could get that free money. Yeah, and give it to me. That would be great. Laura Loomer chained herself to Twitter HQ, got arrested, got processed, went on now to talk to the Trump administration, and apparently was the one pushing the issue of getting rid of some of these people in national security who simply are not doing their job. And they're not doing their job. That's the whole point. The whole point is that these people aren't doing what they're being paid to do. So take your golden parachute, go. Somebody who's more competent, more qualified will replace you. One tall order. 6 USAF B-2s are on the British Diego Garcia Island in the Indian Ocean. More than a quarter of the fleet. It's usually huge news when one bomber shows up somewhere, as they normally never leave base. I was not aware of this, actually. There are 6 B-2s on the subcontinent? Well, shit. I'll have to look that up. Satellite images show at least 6 stealth B-2 bombers at Diego. Jesus. Well, that's not great news. U.S. moves B-2 stealth bombers to Indian Ocean Island in massive show of force to Houthis and Iran. I do not support striking the Iranians, to be clear. I do support using a show of force and saying, look, we can strike you, so leave us alone. And please do not fuck around with the shipping because that's a lot of money. I do not believe in actually using that force unless you are compelled to do so. Basically, it's like this. You tell somebody, look, I can beat the living crap out of you, but I'm not compelled to do that at the moment. I don't want to do that. Leave me alone. Go to the other side of the room, go and drink your ginger ale or whatever, and leave me be. That's basically what our foreign policy should be. Speak softly, carry a big stick. If you are not making a problem for me, I'm not going to do anything for you to you. If you do make a problem, there's going to be a real big problem, and it's not going to be mine. That's what our foreign policy should be. It's very strange that they would put stealth bombers there, though. In addition, the B-2 is the only stealth airframe capable of dropping the bunker buster required to target Iran's buried hardened nuclear sites. Seeing 6 in one place is quite the message. My hope is that it's just a message. We'll put it that way. Hank Hall sticks, what kind of magnesium are you using? Because it's magnesium glycinate that's specifically for sleeping. Cal's is a good brand. I'll have to look into it. Thank you very much. I do take a magnesium supplement. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's not magnesium glycinate. Latest on Trump's presidency as tariffs rattle global markets. Let's get to the sponsors first. We've got 3 of them. We have cultivated-mind.com, of course, where you can get delicious mushroom pills. This is the only thing keeping me going at this point. This is an Anton's Biltong, I suppose. Take them every single morning. They've got Radiant Energy, Brain 2, Brain Squared, and the Immune Renew, and I use them sort of semi-interchangeably because they simply work. Disclaimer, I'm not a physician. In my personal opinion, though, they do work. They do boost my system and allow me to do the work that I need to do. BiltongUSA.com. Use code STICKS, by the way, for 10% off site-wide. You can get all sorts of meat there. Anton will give you his sweet meat. He's over in Chad over on Rumble. And he will hook you up with Wagyu, with Angus, with Cabanassi, and everything else under the sun, of course. We've also got Stick, Sex, and Hammer mugs and tumblers and shirts available as well. So use code STICKS again for 10% off site-wide. Finally, we also have jamandbean.com. jamandbean.com. Where you can get the most delicious coffee in the world, the Clank Blend. I may be a little bit biased, but yeah, it's the best coffee that you can possibly get. Also, lots of teas available there as well. So yes, those are our sponsors. Indeed. Drunken Movie Reviews. Blood Meridian is brutal. Blood Meridian is one hell of a goddamn book. The funny part is that Cormac McCarthy was not recognized for his genius immediately. It took years for that book to take off, which is insane. I would have thought that that book would have immediately shot out of the cannon, so to speak. But apparently that didn't happen. At first, sales were fairly anemic. Nobody really noticed it. Then years and years later, when he's old, all of a sudden it takes root. I am so glad that I read that book. If you have not read Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy, please do me the ever-loving favor of doing so. It is a good idea. Let's put it that way. Vulcus Sticks, have you read Blood Meridian or The Evening Redness in the West? If so, what are your thoughts on it? Not the latter, but the former. Blood Meridian is one of my top 10 books of all time. It was expertly written, superlatively good, and I really, really enjoyed it. There were some unintentionally humorous points, like when the rattlesnakes had bit the cows and horses and stuff, and their heads were all swollen and stuff like that. The hyperbole that was inserted by Cormac McCarthy actually became humorous to me. I have a little bit of a dark sense of humor sometimes. Generally speaking, it was really, really good. It was expertly written. It was insane, actually. You have basically the devil. I'm going to give only a few spoilers here. Basically, the devil gets together a gang of outlaws, and then they proceed to brutalize the population. That's basically the sum and substance of the book. It's very interesting. One Tall Order. Dan Tubb of the Lotus Eaters did an excellent podcast segment on tariffs yesterday explaining it. You can send it to all your normie friends. Yeah. Yeah, the tariffs are big in the news right now. And really, they shouldn't be. The economic correction that we're currently seeing would have happened with or without tariffs. I talked about this many, many months ago. I said, basically, we've got two choices, America. Go with Kamala Harris, we have a hard landing. It's going to be very, very painful. Go with Trump, we have a soft landing. It'll still be painful, but it will be doable. Well, what's happening right now? It seems to be exactly what was predicted. Interesting how that works. Cunning Patriot Sticks. Who is your favorite gargoyle? Broadway, Lexington, Brooklyn, Hudson, Demona, Angela, or Goliath? Brooklyn is my favorite. I don't really have a favorite gargoyle. I really, really loved that cartoon, though. Every 90s kid has to love the gargoyles. One Tall Order. I already read that out. Never mind. Normie friends. Yeah, Gargoyles was a really good series. It was one of the best, actually, and a lot of people don't even remember it, and it's really, really sad that they don't. Nixie, untold misery. That's why China wants to negotiate now? Lol. Yeah, China wants to negotiate. Hong Kong is calling us a bully at the moment. There's probably a reason for that. Yeah, we got to talk about my brother from another mother, Russel Brand, in a minute. We've gotten through the sponsors. Today is Friday. Therefore, I am taking things a little bit less seriously. I'm going to hang out with my niece later, and I'm going to be cooking steak, and we've got French fries and shit like that, so it's going to be a good day. King of Beltong. Yes, my son was dragging ass today. It's hard to get four moving every day. Jesus, you got 4 kids you gotta get moving? I don't envy you. They're probably pretty cool kids, but at the same time, yeah, even one kid is a little bit much sometimes. Your friendly neighborhood weenie dog. Where is your ship? The Flying Dutchman. It's in the bedroom, actually. Don't worry, I'll show it off in due time. It is pretty great, by the way. I think it's like a 400-piece Lego set or something like that, or 500 or something. I always wanted one. Always, when I was a kid, there were two Lego sets that I really wanted. The Flying Dutchman, the one that I've got there, and then the one with the red striped flag, the pirate flag, the galleon. Those were the two that I wanted the most of all, and I never had them. Now I have one of them. I mean, I'm 37 years old, but I have it. And so I feel like I've succeeded in life. I love Legos. They're exceptional. Well, not the newer sets, but the old ones. I had that little Viking ship, actually, and that was one of my favorites of all. Inland Surfer, hi Sticks, you seem recharged. I control my insomnia with excellent headphones and YouTube sleep meditation without ads. I found binaural beats and isochronic noise best. No meds yet. Good luck. Binaural beats can work. I prefer to have only white noise at night, so I'll literally take the little radio that I've got in there and I'll tune it between stations and I'll just have the static playing. Ramon CGTC, did you watch SWAT Cats? That rings a bell. I probably did? Hmm. Kami Thong Hoots Sherwin. I am also a 20-year-old autistic man with arrested development. Wow. Star, Sticks, I wanted you to know. And don't forget this. I've always mostly loved what you are and for what you do. Bravo. Thank you. I'm going to take a brief break here, and then we're going to get to the next three news stories. We got Cory Booker, Russel Brand, and apparently the B-2 stealth bomber story. In fact, I should probably archive that while I'm taking a piss. It's oh yeah, it's already archived. That was 2 days ago. Huh. It's very interesting. Yeah, I love Legos. I also have a shit ton of Playmobiles. I know those are more for littler kids, but the Roman Playmobiles, all right, they're pretty cool. Just saying. All right, so I'm going to go offline here briefly. Don't worry, I'll be right back. And I'm going to stop the cam and mute myself. Yeah, and then I'll consider buying more Legos, I suppose. You know? All right, that was a good piss. We've got BW. You seem to feel better this morning. I guess Wisconsin proves liberals' conspiracy about Starlink wrong. Unfortunately, lol. Yeah, I've actually considered getting Starlink because the other day, both Fidium and Xfinity were out here. They were knocked out by a storm up on Killington. And I was thinking if I got like business Starlink, I probably wouldn't have that problem. So you'd have sort of a triplicate. I mean, I want to get rid of Xfinity anyway because probably it would cost about the same amount anyway. So you have Fidium as your main, and then if that goes down, you use Starlink as the backup, basically. How much does, let me check this. Starlink business cost, because you're going to need business class. Let's see. Fixed site, land mobility, maritime and aviation. Interesting. Yeah, it doesn't list a price, but it appears to be about 1,500 or something like that. Robert Von Darth. Perhaps watch Andrew Huberman's vids, re-sleep, or consult with a hypnotherapist. I am one. Yeah, I've had insomnia problems for many, many years. Since I was a little kid, actually. I was still in grade school. I already had insomnia, and it became quite a problem. And then it kind of went away for a while, but then it came back, and now it's getting worse and worse. So, yes. One tall order. Styx's internet was knocked out by a gust of wind from Howard Stern's ass. I get the reference, by the way. Wasted Bonehead. Good morning from the grave. Yeah. Basically, the only thing that I can do to beat my insomnia is use chamomile. Valerian doesn't work. Serotonin doesn't work. Magnesium supplements don't appear to work. I can use chamomile. The problem is my body builds up a tolerance to it very, very quickly. It's a big problem. I try me bloody best. What Cory Booker learned after speaking for 25 hours. He learned that it was a waste of time more than anything else. Cory Booker now holds the record for the longest filibuster in congressional history, literally breaking the record. He, talked for 25 hours. Cory Booker, though, is a loser because he accomplished absolutely nothing. I was looking at the story, and it's like, the filibuster itself didn't accomplish anything. Your speech didn't deliver anything. The only reason people are even talking about it is because of the length. That's all. I guarantee you that, given enough caffeine, I'm capable of speaking for more than 25 hours. It's not particularly impressive at all, when you really think about it. Yeah. Cory Booker ran Newark. Enough said. Yeah, exactly. What a wonderful job he did. And I have to say that the Newark airport, at the very least, is spotless. It's funny. I've noticed the most decrepit areas in the country have the best airports. Newark is actually a really efficient airport when you think about it. It's really streamlined. It's easily navigated. It has a lot of stores and shit like that. And so, you can get whatever you need past the gate. Same is true of Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne Airport up in Detroit. Now, Detroit is a shithole, but their airport is actually immaculate. Departures on one side, arrivals on the other side. Everything is streamlined. Everything is very linear. It's walkable. And so it's really great, actually. Whereas places that are good, like New York City or something like that, or even Amsterdam, their airports are a hot mess. I've noticed Schiphol Airport is basically a shopping mall with airport gates attached to it. New York City, you look at JFK. Boston, the Boston airport is a frightening mess. It's absolutely terrible. Boston's probably the worst of all of them. Meanwhile, Detroit and Newark have great airports. I don't understand it in any way, shape, or form. I just don't get it. Copium Poppies, remember to buy our album, folks. We got student loans to pay off. copiumpoppies.com/paises/music. Swastika Airport, isn't that Colorado, I think, the Denver airport, if I remember correctly. I mean, it is a space-saving design, I suppose. It makes sense. Clem Semple, Detroit and Newark are just less crowded. No, they are horrendously crowded. Detroit used to be the main hub for Delta, actually, in the United States. Now I think they've transferred mostly to LaGuardia, but it used to be the Detroit airport. And but it still worked. It was still a great airport. It's clean. It's well managed. The people there are helpful. You've got a lot of, places that you can go to get, food and shit like that. And it was pretty good. LaGuardia is okay. BTV is great, but it's only a regional airport. They call it an international airport, but it's not really. It only services Canada and the United States. Harlingen Airport was nice. I remember landing in southern Texas many, many years ago. And Harlingen Airport, I get out of the airplane and there's palm trees and it's 75 degrees. Everyone else is dressed up in a goddamn parka. And I'm like, what the hell? Jesus, let me strip off my shirt. It was very, very strange. Yeah, we'll talk about Russell Brand. UK police charge Russell Brand with rape. British police charged actor-comedian Russell Brand with rape and multiple counts of assault over a number of allegations between 1999 and 2005. That was quite some time ago, just saying. A police statement on Friday said, Brand, 50, the former husband of US pop singer Katy Perry, and once one of Britain's most high-profile comedians and broadcasters, had repositioned himself in recent years as an internet social commentator. Yeah, let's see. Today on Coincidences Aren't Generally Coincidences, we have the case of Russell Brand. Russell Brand decides to become a Rumble frontrunner, part of the non-legacy media. Instantaneously, all of a sudden, people are claiming that he raped them. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, this is totally normal. It's also totally coincidental. The Met's investigation remains open, and detectives ask anyone who has been affected by this case or anyone who has any information to come forward and speak with police, the statement said. In 2023, the Sunday Times newspaper and Channel 4 TV's documentary show Dispatches reported that 4 women had accused Brand of sexual assaults, including a rape between 2006 and 2013. Again, very, very coincidental timing with regards to the actual charges. Oh, you decided that you wanted to be big on, non-legacy media. You wanted to be big on Rumble. Well, we can put the kibosh to that, my friend. This is quite clearly not a coincidence. This is quite clearly them retaliating against him because he decided to go rogue. Russell Brand is presumptively innocent of these charges. I'm willing to claim that on the head. I do not believe that he decided to randomly rape people. This is Russell Brand we're talking about. Does he really need to sexually assault people? Or is he capable of getting pussy on his own? Pretty sure the latter. Just saying. Copium poppies. I'm not wearing pants. Just thought everyone would like to know. That is all. Goodness. Cultivated mind. When you stop drinking the energy drinks, you will get your energy back, Sticks. Just an FYI. Well, I do need a little bit of Red Bull once in a while. I did try that cocoa with the mushroom in it. Oh man, that was good. It tasted amazing. I had that just the other night, and didn't put me to sleep or anything like that, but it was still delicious. Sigil, between Tommy Robinson and Russell Brand, we should declare the UK our enemy on par with the Soviet Union. They're blatantly Soviets at this point. Yeah, there's a bit of a problem with this particular case. That is, I don't believe claims against a person unless there's actual evidence. I have not been presented with any actual evidence within these cases against Russell Brand. I'm not surprised, though. I'm not surprised at all, because Russell Brand decided to speak out against the system and go rogue. He decided he was not going to be a standard liberal. He wanted to be himself. It's funny that he fucked Katy Perry. That must have been a good time. Yeah, just saying. I wonder if she was singing Dark Horse while he was screwing her. David Bryan Ford just started a new band called the Drain Babies. Our first show was dead. The second show pulled a big crowd. We're a sloppy punk band. Sounds good to me. Yeah, Russell Brand getting Me Too'd. It's, you know. John's got a good point. You don't need evidence to convict someone, just a couple of liars. That is unfortunately true. The idea behind the legal system is you're supposed to be considered innocent until shown beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. That's not actually the way that it works. You can be detained for several days for absolutely no reason. You can be punished for something that you did not do. You can spend years of your life in prison as a result of this. I've seen it firsthand. Thankfully, in my case, I had just enough funds to hire a private lawyer. That's my advantage. Last beacon. This is why I view roughly the UK and all of Western Europe as a joke right now, as well as some parts of Canada and America, for the last probably 6 to 7 years. Yep. It's a problem. Russell Brand probably didn't do anything wrong. I find it very, very coincidental, though, and I'm sure that some of you, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, will understand what I'm saying here. Very coincidental. He becomes one of the big players on Rumble. 2 days later, he gets charged with, charges that are over a decade old. What a coincidence. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Wasted. Sticks. Liberals can't be taken seriously. They had nothing to say of the many stock drops during Biden's term, but Trump has one, which was expected from tariffs, and suddenly America is collapsing. Yeah, also coincidental. Yeah. Last beacon, and they have the gall to ask us to go to war on their behalf, especially since it's a proxy war, trying to stop Russia's expansion into Eastern Europe. F. Winters Lodig sticks, even though Rand Paul is pessimistic about the tariffs and says that it cost Republicans 60 years of control, of Congress in the 30s, you're fully for them, right? I am not for tariff. Here, let me give some nuance. This is the nuance stream. I support the use of tariffs to remove tariffs. That is, that the threat of the U.S. tariff on foreign goods should be used as negotiating leverage to get rid of foreign tariffs. I do not actually believe in maintaining those tariffs, though. But you have to maintain the illusion that you intend to maintain them. Otherwise, the negotiation will never happen to begin with. Last weekend. And all of it is because of Edward Snowden. After spending almost 8 years of bitching about Bush going to Iraq for oil, I am so tired of pointing out hypocrisy from the left. I've been doing so for 15 to 20 years. Yeah, haven't we all? Hunter Dvorak. Also, whatever happened to the statute of limitations? Apparently it does not exist over in the UK. Apparently it doesn't exist anywhere now. Oh, it's been 40 years? Well, yeah, this assault case is still pertinent. Ramon C. GTC, we need tariffs as bargaining chips. That's exactly what we need to do. What we need to do is use the threat of tariffs to try to bargain with other countries, to negotiate with them. Say, look, you've had a 230% tariff on our dairy products for the last 30, 40 years. So we're going to impose a tariff on you, unless you decide to drop that tariff, or at least reduce it. Maybe it's a 10% tariff, maybe a 20% tariff, but you've reduced the tariff. This is Trump's big ask. That's the only thing that's going on right now. Yeah, apparently the US has moved B-2 stealth bombers to the Indian Ocean in a massive show of force to the Houthis and Iran. The Pentagon has sent at least 6, probably more than that, B-2 bombers, 30% of the U.S. Air Force's stealth bomber fleet, to the Indian Ocean island of Diego Garcia in what analysts have called a message to Iran as tensions once again flare in the Middle East. By the way, you could level a country with 6 or 7 stealth bombers fairly easily. We have the tech. We have the bombs. We have the capability and the logistic support. That would be bad. This is not what I voted for, and it's not what I want. I have a feeling that this is more for show. It's basically showing Iran, hey, we got the toys that make the noise. Fucking cut it out and just be quiet for a while. And I think that that's what's happening right now. I don't think that there's any imminent risk of a war with Iran. And if one begins, of course, generally speaking, I would be against that, especially if we were the aggressor in that war. But it appears that that actually has happened, unfortunately. Last beacon, I meant to say Russia in my Rumble rant. Fucking voice to text. Many such cases. Sigil, time for Lotus Eaters to get worried, particularly Sargon, and that I wouldn't even grape her joke he made. Keir Stalin is very much going to go after them. Yeah, they've been gunning for Sargon for a very long time. And with Russell Brand, as long as he was just doing stand-up and stuff like that, you notice nobody had a problem with him. Oh no, he's a great guy. He looks a little bit piratical like I do, but ultimately, he's a great guy. The second that he gets into sociopolitics and he signs an exclusive deal with Rumble of all places, what happens? It is literally less than 2 weeks before he gets fucked in the ass. Yeah, these are coincidentally non-related. Of course they are. Wasted Sticks, there is rumblings of a civil war in Britain. Do you suspect any truth to this? While I would love somebody in a Guy Fawkes mask to just haul off, I don't think that that's going to happen. One tall order sticks. For additional context, the U.S. has moved missile defense batteries to the Middle East. What you would need to defend against Iranian counterattacks and sending carrier groups to the area. Yeah, I'm hoping that there's not going to be a war in the region. That would be bad. Some people believe that it's a good idea. I happen not to be one of them. I am war skeptic in general. I think if another country attacks you or a non-state actor attacks you, it's justified to retaliate, to defend yourself. And disproportionately. Like, oh shit, they fired a rocket? Fire the mother of all bombs on their ass and just kill them all. I believe in disproportionate retaliatorism. That being said, right now, have the Iranians attacked the United States? No. Through a proxy group, apparently they're kind of attacking ships, but they haven't managed to do any damage, so until that happens, fuck them. American Son, I like little girls, and Anthony Kiedis is your problem? Good song, by the way. Some people find that song creepy, but it was actually a joke about pedophiles within the business world and the Hollywood world. No, it's not a Danny Elfman reference. No. We're going to get the original. It's by Oingo Boingo, by the way. The original is, at least. There you go. Sting, don't stand so close to me. Yeah, that's a creepy song as well. When you really listen to the lyrics of that song, it's like, okay. All right. Wait, Danny Elfman was the lead for Oingo Boingo? Shit. I wasn't aware of this. You learn something new every day. Yeah, Aqualung is also kind of creepy. One tall order. Since Assad and Syria fell, Iran is the only country left standing in the a clean break defense paper. The war with Iran is coming sooner or later, whether we want it or not. King of Biltong. Try our Biltong. Almost 50% protein, packed with B12, creatine, ooh shit, iron, zinc, and much more. We have functional teas. Try the Relax with chamomile to assist with sleep. BiltongUSA.com sticks for 10% off. Damn, I didn't know you had chamomile tea or I would have been harassing you for some. Last beacon. Oh, I know it's always the case. Whenever I use voice to text, I always fuck up everything. That's why I never use it. Big L. Here's a song for you. The Cinema Show by Genesis. Jake Inarino. Yeah, YouTube demonetized me for taking a stand against the COVID rules and narratives. Now my videos seem to be throttled. Any advice? I wish I could give you some. Unfortunately, my videos have been throttled too. They're going after any and all organic content creators at the moment. Sigil. So I watched your video yesterday about the Senate voting down tariffs against Canada and Rand Paul voting to end the tariffs. Why he did it is simple. He's actually a shitlib. I support Rand Paul. At least in his case, I can say he acted on principle. I can't say the same for Collins, I can't say the same for Murkowski, and I certainly can't say it for fucking bitch McConnell. In Rand Paul's case, I think that it was merely out of ideological principle. So I'll give him a hall pass, for now. Last beacon. As for the Lotus Eaters, as well as other content creators, they need to get the hell out of the West and watch it disintegrate. And wasted, not gonna lie. A war of aggression with Iran would take me off the Trump train. I suspect shenanigans. Unfortunately, possibly. Oh, Norton, yeah. Benatar, Edge of 17. Wasn't that originally a Fleetwood Mac song, though, I believe? Sigil, Iran is going to take McConnell's place as chief ass fuck in the Senate. Guaranteed. Telling me the exact same voters produced two exactly opposite senators? No, I don't believe it. Taco Woman, Sandy Ravage. Even though Danny Elfman has TDS, make sure to check out his 2021 album Big Mess. He pretty much has Nine Inch Nails as his backup band. Yeah, I was not aware that he was the lead singer there. I was not aware of it at all. Turtle's Toy Box. Wonder where Styx's vial of menstrual blood disappeared to. That was given willingly. It was not stolen. Believe it or not. Nobody will believe me anyway, so it's all good. Blood is a very special fluid. Yeah, Edge of 17. Stevie Nicks fronted that one with Fleetwood Mac. And that's slightly creepy. I mean, okay, you're 17. All right, now you can fuck, I guess. But it's still a little bit creepy because there's a heavy insinuation that you're going with somebody much older than you. There are a lot of songs that are like that, though. Oingo Boingo's song, though, Little Girls, actually is a parody of, pedophiles within Hollywood and stuff like that. Some people take it the wrong way. They think that, Oingo Boingo is actually being creepy. But it wasn't. The band was not being creepy, actually. It was, parodying things. Bobby Bobinson, what magic spells you casting with that period blood? That is most powerful that remains unknown, except unto you and to you alone. Let's see. Unfortunately, the news cycle hasn't updated, so we can't do anything with that. Sigil, another day ending in Y. Another person completely surprised that Danny Elfman had an actual music career beyond wacky scores in movies and TV. Yeah, I was not aware that he was part of Oingo Boingo, actually. I mean, I didn't really look it up, so. Ram Bam 3000. Don't Stand So Close to Me is about a schoolgirl's obsession with their teacher. Yeah, it's a little bit on the creepy side. That one is genuinely creepy. Oingo Boingo's song was more about parodying people for being obsessed with kids. In that one, it's not quite so clear. Spectergeist. Why? Oingo Boingo and their evil twin brother, Hoigy Schmoigy. Alright. Ooh, good cap. Please DM me on Twitter if you want to send a custom hat. That'd be fun. I would like another tricorn. That would be fun. Celestial 137. Dude, listen to Rock the Cradle of Love by Billy Idol if you want something creepy. Yeah, Billy Idol, while I like him, and he's very talented, some of his songs are genuinely creepy. He had a couple of others too, like if you look at White Wedding and you listen to the lyrics to that. And then there was, what was that fun, weird ass song? Let me look it up. I'm gonna try to find it. I think it was called Sweet 16. Yeah, Sweet 16. Yeah. All right, Billy. He likes him on the young side. Oh yeah, Flesh for Fantasy. One of my favorite songs of all time, by the way. It's a great song. It's just that if you look at the lyrics, you're like, ugh, you might cringe a little bit. Just saying. Danny Tagarin. I love Eyes Without a Face. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. I'm not going to stop liking Billy Idol, but some of the songs that he penned are a little bit on the creepy side. Sweet 16 is creepy. Flesh for Fantasy, while a good song, is kind of creepy. It's basically about fucking hookers. And so forth. White Wedding is literally about some teenage girl getting knocked up. Some of these songs are, yeah. BW, Sticks, the stock market will reassert itself, but if it doesn't, it'll be fine. I wouldn't worry about it. Temporarily short term, people are going to be talking a lot about it. You'll notice when the stock market begins to rise again, all of a sudden the liberal lamestream media will have nothing to say about it. Guaranteed. Inland surfer, guar, preschool prostitute. Yeah, but that's understood to be a joke. I've heard that song, by the way. I've heard most of Guar's songs. Preschool prostitute. Wasted. Pierced titties taste like car keys. Don't ask how I figured this out. Well, I'm glad that you sucked a titty at some point. I've done the same myself. Many times. There's nothing better. Well, I mean, sucking cunt is better than sucking titty, but... Real story of how Edge got its title. Stevie Nicks asked Tom Petty's old lady when they met. They said she was the age of 17 when they met, and the rest is history. Huh, I didn't know that, Jim. Sigil, remind me who's overrepresented in media executive positions, especially the music industry. Ah, well, we can't talk about that on a YouTube live stream now, can we? We're not capable of doing so. Yeah, there are plenty of creepy songs within the legacy media industry. But the song with regards to Oingo Boingo actually is not one of them. It's basically a parody of the fact that there are people that are predatory in the music industry. And so that one gets a pass. It's a little bit different with some of the others. Billy Idol, I really, really like. I love his music. One of my favorite songs is Eyes Without a Face. And if it didn't exist, it would be a poorer world for it. That being said, he appears to have liked them fairly young. I don't think that he gets up to that now because he probably can't even get it up at this point. But yeah, there's a big problem. The Flax and Saxon take. For what little it's worth, we are less than 3 weeks away from the 20th anniversary posting of first video on YouTube. Noteworthy? Very noteworthy. David Bryan Ford. The Ghoul by Pentagram is one of my favorites. It took me this long to discover this band. I think I've heard that. I'm not sure. Celestial. Guar has a song called Fing, an Animal. Oh, fucking an animal. Taco Woman, Sandy Ravage. Creepiest song, Christine 16 by Kiss. Kiss has always been fucking creepy. Wasted. Anyways, I gotta go. I got car keys to lick. Have fun with that, my man. Zay Reticulous. Dancing with Myself was about whacking it on rooftops. Yeah, Billy Idol is a little bit of a creepy dude. but he's very, very talented. So he sort of gets a pass on that one. Elemendorius, hey Sticks, late tuning in due to work. So, there already seems to be a mass movement to negotiate over tariffs, but you'd never know it from the media. Yeah, this was entirely predictable. What's going to happen, and again, predictable, is that other countries are going to say, oh shit, Trump's actually serious. Let's negotiate our tariffs down. So instead of 10%, it'll be 5% or something like that. Spectergeist, can we talk about Turning Japanese by the Vapors? Good song. There's a lot of creepy songs out there. The 80s were a very, very strange time. Yeah. Some really, really great hits on one hand, but some really, really weird music on the other hand. Think I'm turning Japanese? I really think so. Young Girl by Gary Puckett is a bit creepy. I haven't heard that one. Opinionated Junkie, recession is good, brings down prices. Lockbeard, Michael Jackson was not a pedophile in any way, shape, or form. He fucked big-tittied chicks, actually, all of the time. Apparently, he did this constantly, even when he was married. He was not interested in children. Certainly not male children, especially. Copium Poppies, since we are talking music, I'll use this opportunity to whore our album again. No creepiness. Well, not that brand of creepy anyway. Anywhere to be found in our album, copiumpoppies.com. Yeah, Michael Jackson, by all accounts, according to people associated with him closely, fucked women constantly. It didn't matter whether he was in a relationship or not. He's with goddamn Lisa Marie Presley, one of the hottest chicks in the goddamn world, and he's still whoring around. He's still fucking everything under the sun. But it was never children. And Presley was aware of the fact that Michael Jackson was fucking around. And she did nothing. And she never indicated that he had any interest in children whatsoever. He was, however, interested in really hot women with big titties. That was his sort of forte. He wasn't a fucking pedophile. Not in a million years. Razor Fist has covered this in 3 separate videos. I happen to believe his general acumen with regards to the subject. He just wanted to screw women. That's all he wanted to do. That's why he's dead, because he fucked too many women. Yeah, Lisa Marie Presley unfortunately is dead. And I've pointed to a specific music video multiple times, by the way. You need to watch it. And it is by Johnny Cash, actually. And he did a song, and Marilyn Manson happened to cover it. There's a reason for this. Let me share it out. You need to watch this video. What the hell is happening there? All right. This is uploaded 15 years ago. Johnny Cash, God's Gonna Cut You Down. I want you to look at the list of people that are featured in this video and see what they have in common. Then I want you to look up the Marilyn Manson version and see what he has in common with these same people. There's a reason they're all drawn together by this particular video. Cobra, Lisa Marie and Michael Jackson's marriage was solely for publicity and marketing. No, I think that they had a healthy sexual relationship. Michael Jackson probably took it to Browntown on multiple occasions. Joris Wildenbeest, I want you to stop drinking and beating women. I'm not drinking. There's no woman here, or so it appears. So yeah. Barry Schweitzer, Ringo, you're 16. I was not aware of the existence of this particular music. Yeah, I can believe it though. Back then, back in the 70s, it was not uncommon for grown men to be with a 16-year-old. Does it make it right? No. Fuck no. But it was common. Darren, you weren't there. It was a joke at the time. She married him to get her father's music rights back. In part, probably. It was definitely a business marriage. But I guarantee that he fucked Lisa Marie Presley. I guarantee that he did that. If you're not completely gay, and you've got Lisa Marie Presley in front of you at her prime, you're fucking her. If you are allowed to do so. Just saying. There's no possibility that he didn't screw her. Sigil, there's no woman here, asides from Styx's feminine side. We know you shave your legs, and that's why you won't show them on camera. No, they're actually pretty hairy. That's why I don't show them on camera. Aeneas Nilo. Styx, what is your religious beliefs? You told us before, but I can't remember what you called yourself. I'm a pagan and an occultist. Jenny Simon. Sometimes people need a good slap. We've turned into a bunch of pussies. Had a boyfriend who liked to punch me on the scalp until I hit him back one day. He called the cops on me. Little bitch. Yeah, I don't believe in snitching. I believe that snitches should get stitches, actually. There's a reason why I've got this sort of thing around me. Don't tell nobody. If it's topical in nature, don't tell nobody. If somebody punches me, I'm not going to call the goddamn cops. Richard Vernadow. Styx does British accent again. Yes, indeed, I am capable of doing so. Do you like my accent? Scanman says, you a fan of Ghost? Absolutely. Ghost is one of the greatest bands that's ever been assembled. Yeah, you ain't seen nothing. That's the whole point, Rambam. Basically, I've committed a misdemeanor. Oh, God. Well, shut the fuck up. I would shut the fuck up if you commit one, which you have. Sigil, pagan occultist. Lol, Styx is in a pagan cult. Anthony Wade, that would be Squarehammer. Richard Bernadow, Uncle Frank wants Styx to strip for his fans. Not gonna do that. Doc Holliday, I found it hard. It's hard to find. Oh well, whatever. Never mind. Great song, by the way. Hello, 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 hello. Jenny says, self-defense because the neighbors had called the cops on him before. He hit me on the scalp because you couldn't see the bump, so I didn't break my hand. Barely bopped him with a rolling pin. Just enough. Yeah, I generally do not like violence. I'm not interested in being aggressive towards other people. If somebody else antagonizes me, however, or attempts to attack anyone that I care about, I will absolutely destroy them. And it won't be hard. Most people are incapable of actually inducting combat. Most people have absolutely no idea how to fight. It's rather strange, actually. Anyways, I'm going to go offline now. Patty Smiley does great Teen Spirit cover. Richard, I once had a girlfriend who used to appear topless in chat rooms. Well, if I can get pictures of that, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon hanging out with my niece and eating steak because, yum. Doc Holliday, then why did you beat the street feature up in New Orleans? That did not happen, but I'm wise enough not to talk about that legal case until it is finished. Not gonna happen, dude. So yeah, I'll be back on Monday. Let me see here. Yeah, I gave you the Johnny Cash link. I will be back on Monday. I'll make my normal videos on Saturday and Sunday. Please do not send any more super chats. Doc, Preacher, damn it, that typo cost me $5. Well, how sad. Sigil, Ghost fell out of favor with me after that song bitching about fascism. It's like, oh right, they're European. Yeah, I think he's Swedish. Greases crust, loose lips, sink ships. Exactly. Don't say goddamn nothing. If you're under any form of legal case, don't take your case to the court of public opinion. Take it to the court. That's the only place that can actually prosecute you. And that's all. That's about all. Peace out. Styx shot a man in NOLA just to watch him die. Not quite. Maybe.